So good morning, everybody, and welcome to the cybersecurity portion of the presentations here. I'm my name is Jeffrey Levetsky, and I'm the program coordinator and professor in the cybersecurity program. And I'm going to try to keep this as brief as possible because I'm sure there are a lot of questions. And a lot of what I was going to talk about has already been covered in the last few presentations. So let's just dive into it. Please hold off your questions until the end, and then we'll just do a rapid fire there. Okay, so here's the agenda. It's nice and quick. I just want to start off with a quick overview of what cybersecurity is, simply because there's so much confusion, and within the media, the majority of what people's perceptions of cybersecurity is, it's what you see in movies and television, and a lot of those look great, look great on the screen, sound great, read about great, but they're not entirely accurate, or it's just enhanced. So, so here we go. So essentially, cybersecurity is a technology, processes, and practices which help protect networks, devices, and applications and data from unauthorized viewing, alteration, or access. And there are three attack surfaces, and those are the three ways in which the systems can be attacked. And that's electronic, and that's computers, your smartphone, your applications, all that stuff. There's the physical, which is if you go in and you steal a laptop, or you get access. If I have your smartphone in my hand, I can do a lot more. And then there's social attacks, which is dealing with people, because people are involved in all aspects of the cybersecurity program and any security program. And people are the ones that is the surface that the attackers tend to go after the most, simply because people are easily, there are a lot more variants on attacks. And some of the common cybersecurity activities, and these apply regardless of what your role is. The monitoring, that's SOC, a security operations center, a lot of monitoring. And when you monitor, you go into research, you get an alert, you go into research, and then from there you do some compliance or auditing to see if that particular alert is something which requires further investigation or action. That's the technical side, and that's the side that you tend to see in the movies. Flipping to the other side, there's with the side that doesn't make good media, there's the other aspects of training. You need to train users. You need to let people know what they should and shouldn't do, can and can't do. Collaboration, especially these days, everything being online, a lot of collaboration, which is very different, very challenging. And reporting, a lot of the reporting is required, because a lot of decisions need to be made based on the reports that the senior management or executives or whoever it is making decisions in terms of, say, budgeting or resource allocation. These are all, those are the types of things that the decisions get made on. So you need to know how to do that, how to communicate those things. And the cybersecurity program covers all of those things. So you're not just getting here's a firewall, here's a IDS, or here's how to configure all these technical components, which is an absolute essential piece of the puzzle. But like a puzzle, if you only have half of it, you can't make up the whole thing. So the people aspect, the training, collaboration, reporting, along with some other goodies thrown in there throughout the duration, give you that holistic cybersecurity program. So the cybersecurity program, it's a full-time, and I want to emphasize full-time. It's an 18-hour-a-week commitment, which may not sound like a lot. But when you're looking at 18 hours plus studying and assignments, it can add up. And it's a postgraduate certificate. So that means that you need to have a university degree or college diploma, and I'll get into the requirements a little bit. Program's been running since September 2014. I've been with the program since the beginning, and it's made a lot of change. It's a number of changes since the beginning, and we're continually updating the material and just keeping it updated, because technology and security are constantly changing. Having the 6-year plus being running for 6 years, there have been a lot of graduates, and those graduates just in the Toronto or the GTA area in Ontario have worked at over 40 different organizations. And I'll give a highlight of some of the more known ones towards the end in many different sectors. So there is a high demand for cybersecurity and cybersecurity graduates. Okay, so as mentioned, it's a postgraduate certificate. So you need at least a 2-year college diploma. For those of you who were looking at the requirements earlier, they've been changed recently. So it's a 2-year college diploma or bachelor's degree. And they need to be in information technology, computer sciences, anything that's related to those disciplines, or a 2 or 3-year college diploma or university degree, and 1 year at minimum, 1 year related work experience within your field of your discipline. So as I mentioned at the beginning, cybersecurity is more than just technology. There are a lot of other areas, and by having the experience and the education in other disciplines, that can also help you, and in a lot of cases enhance what you will be doing within cybersecurity. You need to have the desire to do that. And English equivalency as per the George Brown College standards, and all these standards can be found at the link below there. So for semester 1, I'll just talk a bit about the courses. So for semester 1, because brings everyone up to speed. So it's the foundations semester. So for those of you who have had years of networking experience, you'll find it easier. For those of you who have little networking experience, you'll have to work harder to catch up, but you can do it. And there have been a number of graduates who've successfully completed the program who didn't have IT experience or networking experience prior to starting. So you're going to learn the foundations. The course in the bottom there, Introduction to SOC, that's the Security Operations Center. That's one of the new courses that's been added in September. And the reason there's been a series of SOC courses. And the reason for those courses is that the majority of graduates will start in a security operations center. And I'll explain that a bit more. And then once you have your foundations laid in semester 2, you get into some of the more the more technical courses. So with cryptology and network security, you learn how to use the crypto programs. Everybody's favorite, ethical hacking. That's where you have hands-on. That's the hands-on hacking part. So that's where you start to become the Mr. Robot kind of thing, if you've seen that series. So there's the intermediate course and seeded development and delivery. That's security, education, training, and awareness. And that's one of those training courses which helps you communicate the security requirements so that the people that you are working with know what they need to do in order to help you do your job better. Because security is everybody's concern and everybody's responsibility. And then in semester 3, you do some risk analysis, digital forensics, and incident response. That's a hands-on course, some wireless network security, advanced ethical hacking. So that's where you learn your skills, you get more experience, you get more in depth as to how to hack into computers, but also how to help prevent getting into the hacking. And then there's the advanced SOC as well. And the excuse me, and the capstone project, as was mentioned earlier, that is it's a course in which you take everything that you've learned and apply it into a project. So some of the features of the cybersecurity program is that the majority of the professors are working in the security industry full-time, either as technical people or managers. So they bring into the classroom their current experience, their current knowledge, and they know what's happening in the industry, and what they teach you, what you're learning, is what you will need to know when you get out into the workforce. The SOC labs, so the introduction, intermediate, and advanced SOC courses, that's taught on a platform that's been custom developed by the professor who actually runs his own SOC. So he's using his infrastructure to teach those courses. So what you're getting when you do these SOC courses is live, a real environment, just in a sectioned off space. So you don't have access to the live data, but what you're using are the actual tools that are used in his particular SOC there. As I mentioned before, you get the technical skills, but also the soft skills. And communication skills are so important these days, both written and verbal. And those include how to use collaboration. So having meetings on Zoom or Blackboard, which is what we use, learning to have group team presentations so that they can flow smoothly. Those are some of the things you'll also learn. And the capstone project. Now, the skills for success. What I've done is from the graduates that have been very successful, and this is right from the first group to graduate up until now, they all share these 5 common traits. And I'd like you to start thinking about these to help you get on your path, get going on your path to success. And these will work for whatever you decide to do. Well, the first 4 are relevant to whatever you decide to do. So the focus, you need a laser-like focus. You need to know what you want to do. If you're scattered and you have too many things going, it's going to be a challenge to get them done. You need to have the drive and the determination. So I'm going to get this done regardless. I'm going to be successful in this program. I'm going to be successful and get this done and get working in the cybersecurity industry. Communication, both written and verbal, essential. And IT and networking fundamentals, if your skills are not that advanced, that's okay. You'll learn them. Some of the options after graduation is there are other George Brown College programs or courses. So the bridging program that's been mentioned, you can bridge from cybersecurity into the wireless. That's T411. You have an option of getting a master's degree. There are several options within Canada. And then internationally, there are also lots of options. And what most of the graduates end up doing is applying for roles in your field or your area of interest. And by the time you graduate, you will have a very good idea of what it is that you want to do, whether of what area, what field, role you want to take on. And here are some of the roles. The Security Operations Center Analyst. That tends to be the most common, and in my opinion, the best role for any new graduate with no experience, simply because you learn everything you've goes into play. And once you have, say, 6 months to a year under your belt in the Security Operations Center, it opens up the door to almost anything else. Network analyst is another very common one, as a lot of the graduates come in with many, many years of networking experience. And as I said, if you don't have that, that's okay. Cyber intelligence analyst, malware analyst. There's one graduate working at Trend Micro right now. He's one of their top malware analysts. Penetration tester, that's the stereotype that we see, like the Mr. Robot type stereotype. Incident response analyst, that's a higher level over the security operations analysts, like the next step up. These are just some of the roles. There are many, many others. And I'm sure there are more roles that will be emerging that we don't know about yet, because they are still being worked on and as requirements are needed. And here are some of the more prominent organizations that the graduates are working at or have worked at. For those of you Most of these names are probably common or no. So consulting, we've got graduates in 3 out of the 4 big consulting firms, all the big telecommunication firms, many financial companies, so banks, insurance, and managed security services. Those are the companies that monitor networks, and that's where you can get all your experience from, the big experience there. And these are some of those are the 3 larger ones that the students work at. So if you're interested in the cybersecurity program, please follow these steps, because you need to, as I mentioned before, with the focus, you need to know what's out there. You need to know what it is that you want to do. So research the cybersecurity field. Know what you're getting into. See what's out there. It's so vast and there's so much out there that you need to decide on an area of focus. So do you want to do malware analysis? Do you want to be a SOC analyst? Do you want to do cyber intelligence analysis? So many different areas. Also, we've had graduates been technical writers. So many areas. What do you love to do and what are you good at? And find something that will fit that. And that will change, most likely change by the time you graduate. Research the area, ask lots and lots of questions, and then develop a plan. And then the last step may seem obvious, but a lot of people have plans, and just implement the plan. And that's all there is to it. Thank you. So are there any questions? Okay, so Arjun asked, any tools in particular to be aware of before getting into the program? There are so many tools out there. What I would recommend is, if you're not already, familiarize yourself with Linux. Kali Linux is a great one. There's lots of tools out there. Kali Linux has a lot of tools. Put more emphasis on what you can do and how you can do it than the actual tool. So Kali Linux, Wireshark is a good tool to know as well. But don't, like I said, don't get hung up on the tools, because tools come and go. So Art, so you just asked to, thanks for the presentation. Can we open the technical writer position? I'm not exactly sure what you meant by that. You get, if I pronounced it correctly. There are organizations that will start you, require cybersecurity, people with technical writing skills with cybersecurity knowledge. And you can take these skills, your cybersecurity knowledge, and port them into any, pretty much into any profession, whether it's marketing, sales, finance. So you don't have to be a hands-on technician configuring the routers and switches. You can do so much with it. And as you'll learn through the program, you'll learn how to take those skills and apply them in the different areas.